that we received from you all from prior member meetings. AI was the top topic that you all wanted to hear about in our meetings this year. So we have at least two monthly meetings that will address AI. So this first one is on the Microsoft AI Training Toolkit, and our speakers will be Courtney Hodge. She's the program manager for inclusion learning at Microsoft, and the program management, learning and development. Mary Downs will also be assisting her in the presentation. So, Courtney, I'm going to turn it over to you, and we'll monitor the chat for any questions that come up. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for the introduction. I'm so glad to be here. So glad to be able to share this content we have for you. And I'm gonna pull up my presentation, get that started, and then I'm gonna share my screen. There we go. Click share.
We got it. We see
All right, got it. Great. Okay, so to get started, what I'm going to talk to you today is about the AI Trainer Toolkit from Microsoft. And I'm Courtney Hodge. I'm Program Manager at Microsoft Philanthropies. And I'm just really excited to talk to you all today. So let's just get into our agenda. So first, just starting out, just like welcoming everybody here. Glad that you could join. Glad that you're interested in AI. And if there's time, I'll talk about some other opportunities that we're having for nonprofits to learn about AI. And so I might talk about that at the end of this presentation. We're going to go first into what's in the toolkit. Then we're going to go through just like a course overview of like all of the courses that are there. And then I'm going to actually show you a course and so kind of what that looks like. And then we'll talk about different scenarios that you can use when using and leveraging the AI Trainer Toolkit. And then we'll have time for some questions and wrapping up the presentation. I also have Mary Downs here who can monitor the chat and answer questions. Also to chime in if there's more information to be given on any particular slide. So Mary, I invite you to do that. All right, let's first talk about what's in the toolkit. And before we really talk about what's in the toolkit, let's talk about what is the toolkit. So the AI Trainer Toolkit, you can think of it as it's a kit for trainers and educators, so you can learn the basics of AI. And once you learn the basics of AI through the toolkit, you can also instruct your learners on those skills and also incorporate AI into your teaching and learning sessions. You think of it as like a one-stop shop for learning AI, learning how to use it in everyday life and in education, and a way to understand the impact it has on your teaching and training, and also learning how to make sure you're doing it responsibly. And also in the toolkit, you'll have activities for yourself as a trainer. So as you're learning to be a trainer with these AI tools, but also activities for your learners so that you can use in a teaching setting. So you'll have both of those present in this toolkit. So let's talk about kind of the structure of the toolkit. You have your learning objectives are there. You'll have text content, but also video content. So you'll have the opportunity to watch some short informational videos to go along with that text content. There are also activities, as I talked about earlier. And you also, to make it inclusive, we have video files that are in TXT, SRT, and VTT forms. So you have those captions that you need. And there are also audio descriptions included. One thing to note is the descriptive audio file is going to be longer than the video file. So when you're downloading it, that's kind of something to note. So in the trainer toolkit, in the AI trainer toolkit, there are going to be 4 courses. And the first course is Introduction to Artificial Intelligence, which kind of gives you a little overview. The second course is Introduction to Generative Artificial Intelligence. Third course is an artificial intelligence toolbox for trainers. Fourth course is responsible use of artificial intelligence in education. And as you can see, there are different modules in each of these courses, and there's a time frame for each of these courses. Now, the time of each course is based on an estimate for reading the written content, doing the activities, and also watching the videos. And so that's how much time you'll spend for the totality of the learning. So not just the video content, not just the text-based content, not just the activities, but all of it together. Are there any questions so far?
Yes, please. I'm sorry. How we can get this toolkit? Maybe I missed this part.
No, great question. It's in the chat. I'm going to put it in the chat.
Thank you so much.
No problem. I lost my chat for a second and it was right there. Sorry, I have to figure out where. Mary, are you available to put it in the chat?
Yep, I'll add it into the chat.
Thank you. All right, because I cannot find the chat while I'm presenting. All right. So Mary will put that in the chat, and I'll move us forward.
Courtney?
All right. Yes.
Courtney, this is Costas Torregas from GW, George Washington
Yes.
University. If we are already a Microsoft customer, do we get additional kind of bandwidth on these courses, or is this like a separate thing that has nothing to do with a Microsoft environment we work in?
So it's designed for any nonprofit. So whether you're a customer or not a customer, we just want to give people the tools that they need to be able to incorporate and learn about AI into their training.
Great. Thanks for that answer.
No problem. Okay. Well, Mary, is it in the chat? Because I can't see the chat.
Not yet.
I'm adding it right now, just pulling it up. Thanks.
Great. I meant to send it before I started sharing my screen. So while we're putting that in the chat, I have a question for you all. What course are you most interested in? Introduction to Artificial Intelligence, Introduction to Generative Artificial Intelligence, and Artificial Intelligence Toolbox for Trainers, or Responsible Use of Artificial Intelligence in Education? Now I see the chat. There we go. All. Responsible use. Okay. Great. Toolkit and Gen AI. Toolkit and responsibility. Good. It's good to see such a variety of answers and a lot of people who are interested in all of the courses. That's great to see. All right, so let's go over just an overview of all of the courses present in a little more detail than just the titles. So for course 1, the Introduction to Artificial Intelligence, what you want to know about this course is that it's going to give you that foundational knowledge in the principles of AI. And it is and how you can use it in an educational setting. So whether when you're training or if you're trying to teach other people or train trainers, like this is how you can use AI in some of those foundational principles. You also have a exploration into some of those foundational principles and an introductory model on leveraging the potential of AI for trainers, a practical exploration of AI applications, and activities for incorporating AI into teaching and learning. So that's going to be what you get in course 1. In course 2, you're going to get an introduction to generative AI. And so this is what's really been, right now we're used to AI in certain ways. And so like today, where we have the advancement of like that generative AI, you're going to have a course where you're going to cover the fundamentals and applications of that. You'll also gain some knowledge about large language models and learn how to use Bing Chat, or what we're calling, it's been rebranded now, it's Copilot with Bing. And develop the skills necessary to utilize generative AI in different fields. You'll also explore a little bit about prompt engineering. And so that's the part where you're asking the AI to give you something. And so asking the right questions, think of it like the way you learned how to type into a search engine to get the right information you want out of your search engine. You're learning the same thing here to get those answers that you really want. So you'll get some prompt engineering. Also understand like the limitations of the content that you create, because it's still the human is still the driver. The AI is a complement. It's a co-pilot. You're still the pilot. And so it's really important for you to understand their limitations to the AI and what you bring that's uniquely human to the content. And also you'll learn to utilize the AI models critically and responsibly. And that's really important. In course 3, you'll get a deeper understanding of AI's potential for transforming your learning experiences. You'll learn how to explore generative AI, build engaging content, and foster a more inclusive learning environment. You'll understand the advantages of integrating AI-powered productivity tools. And also by the end of the course, you'll be able to design and implement learner-centered ecosystems that leverage AI to enhance the learning process. So this is a great course where you're really, after you're getting some of that fundamental information, being able to more strategically apply it to a learning experience. And then you get to the final course where you're really learning about using the AI responsibly. And it's based on the 6 principles of responsible AI, which are fairness, reliability and safety, privacy and security, inclusiveness, transparency, and accountability. And so that's what course 4 is all about. And I'm going to pause now to see if there are any questions so far.
Are you keeping records of how the institutions and nonprofits are using these courses? Just out of curiosity.
Mary, do you have an answer for that?
We're not necessarily keeping track of how institutions or nonprofits are utilizing the courses, but I do think that's an interesting topic, and we would love to learn how nonprofits or organizations are utilizing the toolkit.
Yeah, that would be great. Because we're always looking for use cases, and like if you find that you're using it in a unique way, we'd love to hear about that so we can share it with others. Okay, so let's talk about what's in each course. So when you're looking at the toolkit, in each course, you'll have a course description and learning objectives. You'll also have prerequisites, things that you need to know before you dive in. There'll be the learning modules themselves. So that's that text and video content. But then there are also, like we talked about earlier, the activities for the trainers, but also activities for learners. And with that, as I'm a former teacher, and the answer sheet, always helpful to make sure A, your learning is on track, and B, that your learner's learning is on track also. And also included in that are the bibliography, so where all of these things were pulled from, and also additional resources. So I actually have another question for you. Which part of that course outline do you think will be the most helpful for you as a trainer? Is it the understanding like that description and the objectives, the prereqs, the learning modules themselves, the activities, having an answer sheet, or the bibliography and additional resources? activities, all activities and solutions. Solutions are really helpful. I think it's really helpful to be able to look back and make sure that you're on the right track. And so you're able to do some of that course correction, and having that immediate feedback is really helpful. Learning modules, all of it. Activities, objectives, solutions, great. What I really want everybody to know is the toolkit is designed as a guide for you. You can use it to like up your AI skills, but also as you're looking through, figuring out, hey, what pieces are really useful to me? What pieces are useful to my learners? And being able to create what you need from it. Take the pieces that you need, leave the pieces that you don't need, and really make it your own. All right, let's go into a demo. So I am going to stop sharing for a second. And then I'll bring that back up. And then I'm going to pull up the actual module so we can take a look at what we have. All right, share again. All right. All right, can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
All right, great. Okay, so this is that very first course, the Introduction to Artificial Intelligence. And this is kind of the layout. It gives you that time and how many modules are in it. And here you'll see the table of contents, and you'll have the course description. And then this course is going to be broken down into 8 different lessons here. And so we have this piece here, and then it also breaks down where you have some of these this other content, the Introduction to Artificial Intelligence for Trainers. So this is all of the lessons that you'll have. So this in this first module, we have 8 lessons. The second module has 2 lessons. So let's dive right in. So like I said before, it starts with that course description and then those learning objectives. For this one, prerequisites are none. It's for beginners, so you don't need any prerequisites. And this gives you like kind of a breakdown in the time. And let's look into module 1. And it tells you even in module 1 what the objectives are for this module. This is what the video looks like. So when you download the content, the videos will be in another file folder. And so you'll know which video to play. But this one, the first lesson starts out with what is artificial intelligence? And it kind of walks you through what that is. And then you'll watch the video. Here's some more text content where you learn about foundational concepts of AI. And so you'll see some of these terms and then an explanation of the term. And then you go into what is machine learning. And so this is a lot of the content that you'll see. And here. Now I'm going to move forward to some of the activities so you can see what that looks like.
We may have lost Courtney for a minute.
Excuse me, I am the only one who sees like
No.
freezing. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, it looks like it's paused for a moment, but I can just speak on on the topic of that course and all of the courses, while we wait for Courtney to join back in, each course starts with very much a foundational knowledge over the topic. So for the first one, it's artificial intelligence. And that can be for anyone, for any learner, any trainer, any educator. And as we go further into the course, it becomes very more specific to trainers and educators and how they can apply AI into their learning environment. And so as you get further into the courses, it becomes more specific for a trainer or educator's need. And then at the end of each course are the different activities that you can utilize in your training courses, or also for your learners, so you can adapt it and integrate it into any type of learning environment. So I hope that kind of helps kind of give you a little bit of an overview of the course content. Is there any questions?
So
This is Clint in Stray Mountain. The course materials, we're at Microsoft School as well. Is this something that once we download the toolkit, we could set up this information in this course material and say like a Canvas LMS system so that we could share it with our other instructors as
Yep.
as an optional learning tool?
Yes, you definitely could do that. You could add it into your LMS system. You can also like break it apart. So if you don't want maybe the topic of machine learning, but you want to use the topic of neural networks, you can take parts of it and apply them into your LMS system.
That would be excellent. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, how long was I out?
Not long.
Not long.
I quickly went over just a quick overview of the course and how it goes from very general foundational knowledge and breaks down into more specific for trainers and educators.
Thank you, Mary.
You're welcome.
Okay. So I was talking about the activity here. And so this is the activity part for trainers. And can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, just making sure we're good here. Hold on, let me take a look. Okay, there we go. And so it'll break down different scenarios, and then you can take a look, and you have an example here about improving accessibility. And so these are some of the AI powered tools that we have for accessibility and how you can implement, and then you'll do it yourself. And so you'll talk about engaging learners. What tools could you use? What are some examples of how you could implement that? And you'll go into some other scenarios here. And then in activity 2, you'll have AI tools for learning development, and it'll tell you the task, and it has all of the instructions here. And what you're supposed to do to like link your presentation deck, screenshot of your rehearsal report. So it tells you about different tools and things that you should practice, and then a place where you can showcase your work, and then respond to that work. And as you can see here, there are additional resources in this module. And then you get to this part where you have actual activities for your learners, right? And so their first activity is write an interactive article with AI-powered technology, and it'll take them about 30 minutes, and it gives instructions. So that's something that you can do with your learners. And they'll also have additional resources. And here's the answer sheet. So I'm not going to go through that because I'm not going to give you the answers right now. I'm going to give you an opportunity to try it, but there are answer sheets here for your activities. And I'm going to at least show you the ones for your, and then you have the bibliography here. And so you'll have that there. So that's what is contained in every module. And so having those answer sheets for your learnings, and also a bibliography so you can refer back to it, and also those additional resources that you have, all to support your learning and also what you're trying to offer your learners, your students, whoever you're training. Okay, and I'm gonna pull up the deck again. Right, and we were at the demo. Right. Great. So any questions about the demo so far?
I think I don't see any questions in the chat.
Okay. All right, great. So let's move into different, oh, I see something in the chat. Let's see. All right, great. Thanks for the feedback. So let's talk about scenarios. So I think one of the things that's helpful is to figure out like what ways can I use this? Can I leverage this when I'm trying to work through the toolkit? So I've come up with a few scenarios for use cases. So let's say we want to just use it to upskill myself as an individual trainer. So you can use it to learn on your own, use the outline and activities just to acquire your own skills. You can learn at your own pace while you're doing that. So you work through it in the time and in a way that makes sense for you. And it'll teach you also how to apply those skills so you can use them for your individual learning. So that's one way to use it, just for your own upskilling. You can also upskill as a trainer cohort. So like if you are an organization where you have multiple trainers, you can put them all in a cohort and they can work on the content together. And so somebody can coach a team of trainers to do this. You can customize the speed and timing and arrange regular meetings to either do this face-to-face or online. So you can foster that peer support and collaboration that I think is really helpful sometimes. And you can decide what you want to do with the group time. So the group time could focus on just sharing results from the activity. So if everybody's working on it at a certain time and they know that they're going to get together and talk about activity one, they can do that and just talk about, hey, this is what I got out of this activity. You could also use it as time where they're working on the activities together. So kind of like doing that collaborative learning, or just discussions on how they plan to apply it. So there's several ways that you can have these in a mix and match of those group discussions if you're doing it as a trainer cohort. Another way to use it is to train the beneficiaries, right? The AI Trainer Toolkit, even though it's designed for trainers, can also be used for people learning about AI. And so you can use it to facilitate learning opportunities for your learners. And so after you finish the course, you can choose which modules you want to teach to your beneficiaries. And you can use the learner activities to support that practical experience for your learners. So those are just 3 different ways to kind of leverage the toolkit. What I want you to do now is I want you to take a moment, and I'm going to give you 5 minutes. I'm going to give everybody 5 minutes to think about how you can leverage this AI toolkit, AI Trainer Toolkit. And what I want you to think about is just how could you use it? I've given 3 scenarios. You can use one of my scenarios, or you can come up with one on your own. But I want you to type it in the chat, but do not press enter. So just type your idea in the chat, and in about 4 minutes, I'm going to ask everybody to press enter so that we can read them all at one time. I find that sometimes people who see a lot of things going on in the chat decide not to type their own thing. And so this is a way to encourage everyone to have an opportunity to have their voice heard. So I want to hear what your ideas are. I'm going to give everybody a couple of minutes to think and then jot down their thoughts. All right, I'm gonna give everybody 30 more seconds to finish typing. All right, everybody can press enter now. Let's see what you got. Now, the great thing about having all of this information is now you've been able to kind of crowdsource all these different ways to use the AI Trainer Toolkit. So thank you all for sharing these great ideas. Take a look through the ideas that have been shared here, as you might be able to apply them in your own experience. And also feel free to think about the scenarios that were presented to you. But I love it when we can come together and kind of share our own thoughts about how to leverage a tool. The people who are doing the work are just really creative about how to apply tools. And so it's kind of great to see all of the different applications. All right, and now I would like to open it up for questions from you.
Okay. Any questions? We want to thank you all, Courtney and Mary, for providing this information. Any questions out there? You can either just go off of mute and ask your question, or you can put it in the chat.
Mary, this is Costas again. I speak too much. One of the things that sometimes the people that I speak to worry about is the hallucination effect of AI, especially if you're in government or academia. You don't want to be embarrassed by hallucinations. And I know that Microsoft kind of has spent a lot of time working with clients to figure things out. Can you give us a little bit of an update on that?
So can you give me a little more context on what do you mean by hallucination?
Yeah, when you use an AI platform, sometimes you'll ask a question, and the software will basically create news that is not true. Imagine things that were never to be, just because of the probabilistic nature of AI itself. And if you're not careful, and if you simply rip off the page from the printer and give it to your boss, you could be embarrassed.
Yes.
And you multiply that many times now. So it's just that attribute of AI that sometimes is want to give strange answers that really don't are probabilistic answers, which could exist, but in fact are not based on fact.
Yeah, and I think that's a great question, and that's something that we all look at when we're working with generative AI specifically. And so course 2 is over generative AI, and in that course we have a whole section over prompt engineering and how to write a prompt so that the answer is what you are intending for, and to remove as much of the information that should not be included into the output. And with that is critical thinking. So teaching and learning about how to utilize critical thinking skills within generative AI is super important to make sure that that hallucination does not happen.
And also, particularly when you're using Copilot for the web, which is in Bing, you can there are 3 different varieties to be able to use. There's creative, there's balanced, and then there's like that more professional version. And so when you are entering your prompt into that, if you use the more balanced approach, usually you have sources to look back at. And so that way you can ensure like, hey, this information is correct. This is where it came from. And, you know, it uses different types of sources. For the creative side, you know, that's great when you're trying to bounce some ideas off of the, you know, AI and trying to do some brainstorming. But when you want to make sure that your information is factual, and you want to try to mitigate the hallucinations, using the more balanced or professional version is helpful.
Great. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions?
But that human element is really important, to look back at what it's saying and making sure that it's accurate. It is there as a tool, but it is not meant to replace that critical thinking that we have.
I know that a lot of our faculty are implementing or integrating AI into their classes across different disciplines. So this could be a real good tool, I think, to help them and incorporate that into their professional development. I don't see any other questions. Let's see.
I was wondering if you'll be able to share the presentation, if possible.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to send it and then I think the plan is to share it.
Yes. Okay.
Excellent. Thank you.
All right, Mike, I'll turn it back over to you with, I want to thank our presenters, and I think this was a great topic. Again, thank you, Courtney and Mary, and we're looking forward to trying to apply some of this and go to that toolkit. Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Also, I said I was going to share, I'm sorry. I said I was going to share some information about other trainings, and I'll just put those in the chat.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
And to answer the earlier question, yes, we're recording this and we'll put that on the web. I put the link where we share all of our monthly meetings out on the web, along with any documentation the presenter shares with us. Most of the time we have all the presentations out there as well. So feel free to go out there and browse what we have already done. And we try to put the upcoming ones, and like I said, the next one is going to be the AI, the impact of AI on cybersecurity roles and education. I also put a link in the chat for the survey, so really appreciate all of your feedback. As Stephen mentioned, we do look at the feedback and we consider that when we're looking at future presentations. And if you have a topic you want to share, please put that in there as well. We'd love to invite you to come to our monthly meeting and share your information. With that, I want to thank everybody again for being here. I'll just put up our survey on the website, or up on the, I want to thank again everybody for being here. I will send a follow-up email. I'll try to include all the links that we talked about today, and let everybody know when the video recording is available on the web. I don't have anything else, but I want to echo what Stephen said. Thank you, Courtney. Thank you, Mary, for great presentation, and we look forward to seeing you maybe at next month's meeting, if not before then. So have a great weekend, everybody, and we will talk to you soon.
Thank you, Mike. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Everybody.
Bye.